last I was here, I had put in and got the weld done on the upper side of the heater tray. Now I got to go underneath, which is why I lifted it, and get the lower part. So I'm going to bang that so it's flush, put it underneath the most stable part here, which is the frame rail, and under the back I put it underneath the spring box. One thing we know without any doubt on plug welds is that if this is loose, you're going to burn through it. So what I've done, I've taken a piece of wood and pushed it so that this inner is tight to the bottom of the shelf there. I'm going to plug weld a couple of these little holes, and then I can run my stringer weld along the bottom. So I've got this one tight, and then I'm just going to move the wood around. And that one blew through a little bit, the last one, because it just didn't quite line up. I can fill that though with a bit of weld. So here we go, we got decent plug welds there. That one there blew through just a little bit. I'll fill that one with some weld. You can see this last one's got some spatter, some filling on the weld there, because it's like these three where it was open partially. So that'll just blow through. So I'm gonna get that from the back side and then fill these retroactively. But yeah, plug weld turned out okay. And now we're going to come up from below. Won't this be fun? Just gotta get in here. Not an easy job. You can actually see the penetration on the plug welds though. See all along here? So the plug weld's got good penetration. But now I'm going to just seal this up. You know what? Change of plan. I'm just going to do this bit here. I'm going to leave those plug welds as is, and I'll just seam seal that, because plug welds are what they had originally, right? So, but I do want to fill this, so that's what we're going to do. Not great, but it'll do. Got to get the one at the back now. But I'll do that without the camera in the way because it kind of sucks. But you see what I was doing there? I was just bridging the gap by kind of moving the thing back and forth. Anyway, let's get this out of here so it doesn't get damaged. So there's the it's all kind of ground down in there now and good enough for me. Last video left off with the welding of the heater tray. In order to get underneath to weld the heater tray, under here, the access was terrible. So I wound up putting my car up on, and I know it's not the best idea, but it's on jack stands. Those are stable. I've tested it. I've moved it around. It's not going anywhere, but by the same token, I'm also not going to hop inside of it to get those plug welds. Now that the heater tray is welded in and I've ground under there, I was going to pull it down, and I thought this is actually really good for the height of working back on the tub again. So the plan originally was to build a license plate bracket, but then I got this. So those 4 holes that I drilled to make the license plate bracket, I've put some. These are just tacked in place, and then I do the cut. I showed you in an earlier video on how to sub in. cut these out, pounded them to shape with a hammer and dolly, and got them right as far as the contour. Now I've got them tacked in place. I'm going to cut them in place, and then it'll be an exact fit. Then I'll weld them in. So I push it flush, and then I got less body work to do. So by cutting it in place, the old piece comes out, the new piece fits pretty much exactly. Now I can just go in, make sure it's all flush, and just keep tacking around till it's done. So I don't think you need to watch me weld. So in case you couldn't understand me with the mask earlier, I tack it on the outside, I cut it, then it's an exact match to shape. I'd already pounded it flat in spot. By making it flat, I push the new one back. Then as I cut through the tacks, it releases the one on the back. The first couple of welds will probably tack the old one in. So once you get around there, you can kind of pry it off. It comes off easy because I try not to go through too much. I know the welds aren't great. They're just tacks. I'll do them pretty when I get it in. Right now I'm just trying to get the stuff stuck together. So I'm not really all that worried about it. Yeah. But yeah, so I tack it in. I gave a quick cut around. Those are in. I'm going to cut these. I'm going to straighten up the floor and get it tacked in. All this stuff while this is up in the air because I can get underneath there easier. Then I'll pull it off the blocks and I'll finish grinding the last plug welds. You don't need to see me grind the plug welds. You know what grinding's like, so. Hey everybody, me again. Like the banners, by the way. I'll put a link in the comments as well. So now you know why this thing's still up in the air. I haven't got to get back to do the tub again. So cold out, I haven't had time to work on the car. So I managed to get the videos caught up to where I'm at. And now we got a warm week, so I'm going to get to work on the car finally. Yay. And then it's going to get cold again. But you can see I haven't been out here in a while. I grew this because I used to have 6 abs and 1 chin. Now I have 1 ab and 6 chins. My wife made a comment that I had more chins than a Hong Kong phone book. It kind of hurt a little. Not going to lie, that hurt a lot. So I figured rather than actually exercise and lose the weight, I just camouflage the chins, which has been fairly effective. It's a mullet beard. Look, it's business on the sides, pointy on the front. Yay! By the way, don't braid your beard. I braided my beard. It was longer, and I braided it, and my wife made me cut it off. So just a hint for you guys, if you like the longer, she said I look like Jafar. It's like twisted. Anyway, she made me cut it off. So now I've got the little shorter, but it's there, so you can see it's been a bit since I've been out here because of the temperatures. And the old happy wife, happy life. Well, I married a redhead, so I got to keep her happy, otherwise, ginger snaps. Now I'm out here. I'm going to get back into it. But my brother came to visit. This is what I actually want to tell you. My brother came to visit Thanksgiving. One who has owned this car since, 1969. And we were talking, and I was reinforcing the firewall because he and I had talked about always wanting to keep things looking looking stock, and so I was keeping the original hinges because, and we talked about this, we actually had a laugh about this. I want to do this like he would have done it because it was his first car and he likes things original. So we were talking about the firewall and that, and he said to me that he had plans when he was a kid, and he had it to get a front tilt kit for the bonnet so that the hood would stop falling on the back of his head, as he put it. So that is, we had a good laugh about that, and we were talking about that, and he looked at me and said, why would you keep the hinges? I said, well, I thought you wanted to keep it stock. I had plans to put a 327 Chevy in this car. Excuse me, Mr. wants to keep everything stock. I mean, I'm doing this for your dream too, not just mine. You know, I kind of want to make us both happy. So I'm doing the mods that I think I need to do, but trying to keep it stock for you. He says, oh, I still have the article. You can run the exhausts out the side and get, you know. I'm like, okay, so front flip hood then would be, since that's not an issue, for Christmas, I asked my wife for and received a front tilt hood kit. This particular one, and how I picked this one, there's a few of them out there. I had a couple of different options, including making one from scratch, which I was actually going to do, but I talked to Ian Castley from Econobox Garage. If you haven't seen his videos, they're awesome. You should give them a look. This is what he used. The one he used, it comes from Q1 Classic Engineering out of Texas, and it goes in all the stock holes that are already in the front end, so there's nothing new to drill that's not already there. But I didn't waste my time on those hinges because I'm going to use them. I'm going to mount hood pins into the hinges. I'm going to lock the hinges in place with a bolt, and I'm going to put the pins in so when the bonnet comes down and closes, it's going to click on, and where the two hinges used to screw on, now there's going to be a hinge pin there to hold the bonnet down. So I don't need to use leather straps or any of these other things. It's going to be awesome. So that'll work, and I like having it reinforced. And the cracks needed to be fixed anyway, so the reinforcements weren't that much extra work. I still would have had to tear the whole thing apart. The reason I didn't use a new one, by the way, was a couple of reasons. One is budget, but the larger reason was actually alignment, because anytime you take a full panel out, there's no guarantee that everything's going to line back up. So what I like to do is leave as much metal behind as I can so that everything is squared up to where it was, and just replace the bits that need replacing. So if I get a new panel, I'll cut it apart and just stick in the bits I need to and weld it in. The exception to the exception to that for me is going to be the sills, but that's down the road. But by and large, if I can keep a piece of metal, I want to keep the piece of metal. I don't want to have to rebuild the thing because I don't have the jigs. I don't have, there's no guarantee it'll be all squared up when it's done. So that's why I didn't just replace, because AH Spares actually sells the body part, the actual firewall piece, but I didn't want to have to realign everything. So that's why that didn't happen. So we've got the front bonnet kit, went over that. The other thing that came as well was a gas pedal and a couple of clutch and brake pedal. These are all aluminum. They came from the same place. So that was all part of my Christmas present, which was awesome. So I was happy about that. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever holiday you choose. I say Merry Christmas. And if you don't like it, well, too bad. Merry Christmas. So yeah, now you're up to speed as to why the plan changed. So I'm gonna get my face out of your grill now, and I'm maybe gonna get some work done instead of just nattering at you like a mother-in-law here. Great. We'll talk soon.